Hi, it's Terri Gaines. I'm going to give you some assembly tips on creating this fun card using copper foil and the new pine tree punch and the new perfectly plaid stamp set. They're in the new 2019 holiday catalog. You can purchase them separately or together as a bundle to save 10%. For this card, I used Early Espresso cardstock. I cut it 4 1/4 by 11, scored it at 5 1/2. For my card base. The first layer on the card is a piece of copper foil that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I cut this out with a rectangle stitched die. This die size is 2 5/8 by 3 15/16, and just cut that, place that right in the center, ran it through my die cutting machine to cut out the center. For the frame part, I used the pine wood planks embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, placed it in the folder, ran it through my die cutting machine to texturize the frame, and the frame turns out like this, a beautiful wood grain frame. And for the center section, I ran this through the die cutting machine using the subtle folder, placed it in my subtle folder and ran it through to texturize this piece, and it comes out like this, which is absolutely beautiful. It's fun texturizing the foil papers. So for the assembly, I adhered the frame with the snail adhesive, and you need to go a little bit slower on the back of specialty paper to be sure the adhesive comes out of the dispenser correctly. Then what I'm going to do is just place this down. I'm going to watch opposite corners for placement. And if my spacing is equal on both corners there, the rest should fall right into place if I've cut this correctly. So that's how I adhered the frame. For this center section that I texturize, I actually am going to punch the trees out. So I'm going to turn it upside down and punch one tree out in this direction, rotate it, and punch the other tree out like such. And I could even use this for a future card by putting a layer on top of that and have a nice little frame for that. So I'm going to hold on to that and design a card around that piece. So for these two, I'm going to adhere them to the card with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. You get 300 in a package, so 3 sheets. Each sheet has 100. And take the backing off. The first tree is going to be placed, you just kind of place it towards the one side. The second tree is going to be on the opposite side, so I'm going to look at the bottom and the sides of what I've already done here and duplicate it on this side, so it's about here, spaced about there. The center tree is actually stamped with the plaid tree stamp, and I used the new metallic ink pad. It is really nice to work with. It's a metallic ink and it dries fairly quickly, and it's very, very nice. So I'm going to watch for equal spacing all around my image, punch this out. Same thing, we'll put a couple dimensionals on here to adhere it to the card base or card front. And that's going to go right in the middle. So I'll place that about here. To add a little bit more decoration to the front, I'm going to take the 1/4 inch copper trim that's sold in the annual catalog and keep this on the spool. I have less waste if I do that. Tie a knot, trim off the other tail, or make the tails equally. Then if you pull on the trim, it actually is like a netting, and you can get a fun shape with that. I'm going to attach that with a mini glue dot. Just place that on the mini glue dot. I grab my paper snips, it's handy to attach this. For the inside, I've stamped the Merry Christmas from the stamp set and duplicated that plaid tree. Put some adhesive on this. This will be the center or the inside of the card. Just going to eyeball that, and there we have a fun card. If you found me via YouTube, look in the comments section for a direct link to my blog post where you'll find the supplies, measurements, and instructions for this project. There'll be a PDF tutorial you can download and a direct link to my Stampin' Up! Store to purchase the supplies. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed creating this project with me. Would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click the red box underneath the video. Thank you. Bye-bye.